Just let me know if you're in the chat. Please let me know if you can hear me. Oh, well, I've done the audio test, so that's all good. It's been a minute, hasn't it? Welcome back to F1 League of South Africa. I've been away for quite a bit, so I haven't been able to commentate in this league because of university commitments. But it's great to be back and commentating over what is a brilliant series on the F1 game. While I've been away, a lot has happened. GSL Weeze is no longer in the league because of other commitments. It'll be a big. Well, I think we'll all miss GSL Weeze rocking up to races and dominating, but it seems like we've already found someone to fill his gap, and his name is Scott Boros. Could be a very interesting end to the season here. As Franz leads the way, that championship's basically wrapped up unless he has an absolute nightmare. But we've currently got 16 drivers in the field right now, and we are raring to go for qualifying around the Singapore Street Circuit, also known as the Marina Bay Circuit, here on F123, as we'll be underway very shortly, as we've been given the green lights. And Singapore is a track that can throw up the biggest of surprises. It throws up some brilliant races. It did in real life this year, where when Carlos Sainz broke Red Bull's duck and got a win ahead of Norris, it was Hamilton in the end, but it looked like Russell was going to get the win for a bit, but then he put it into the wall. And also Singapore, we have ever-changing conditions, as we saw in 2022. That was also a great race in Singapore. We've had back-to-back good races in Singapore. But the real question is, who will put it on pole today, as we've got an 18-minute qualifying session ahead of the drivers? Any rain will spice it up dramatically, because it is a track where the walls are within a very small proximity. So even the slightest mistake could ruin a lap, or even ruin their qualifying, or the race, depending on when that crash happens. We've got a mix of new names, and we've got a mix of old names who you'll recognise. Not Nats, you'll recognise Franz, Fori, Enzi, you'll recognise Lenny, Carnboy, Divan. Scott Boros is relatively new, but he has raced here before, from what I remember. We've still got Trey. But the thing is, the biggest surprise is that the last time, between now and the last time I commentated here, Big T finally got his win. So shout out to Big T. And we got a couple of new names who I don't remember. 5 Take, we got Spikes, Blade Brian, I don't remember, or Osman Sedat. Obviously, I do remember Venom Terror. Gaturi Levy, I don't remember. Rasman Jakes, I don't remember either. So, no one rushing to get out of the pits just yet. So this is the perfect time to go and just get our overlay up. So, Spikes has a qualifying ban, so does Trey. We won't see lap times from them. We even see them get on track in qualifying. But Scott Boros going for the intermediate tyres early on. Is that just a tactic? Just to make sure his equipment is working? If not, everyone else is going out on the softs. And there's the Mercedes. That'll be Osman Sedat just coming out of the pits, as we're going to follow his teammate, Blade Brian. Trey is retired in the pits. Thanks for doing that. The number 25 Mercedes. He is in George Russell's car. The other one in Hamilton's car, Osman. But out front, we have currently got Carnboy, who's leading the train. He's got a helmet very similar to Luke Littler's darts in that Alpine. So Scott Boros, he has gone out on track on the intermediate tyres. He's in the number 3 today. So he's in Daniel Ricciardo's car. And he's lost it and he's put it in the wall. And that is not ideal for Scott Boros. Well, he has to turn around, be careful not to disqualify himself. He did drive quite far backwards there. And that is the first real shock of qualifying. Scott Boros putting it in the wall within 2.5 minutes. That is why you don't go for intermediate laps. Straight on, he's struggling. He almost put it in the wall again, the AlphaTauri driver. He'll just be trying to get this back to the pits. We're going to go back on board with Carnboy, who invalidated his outlap, should be fine on his normal lap. And he starts it on his run down to turn 1 in the number 7 Alpine. He is followed by an Aston Martin, that'll be Venom Terror. Cowboy through the first section. Looked okay on board of the Alpine. Powered by Renault. Have we got a slow moving Alpine? That'll be his teammate, that would be. It's Fori, who we've seen win multiple races in this championship. People who have won multiple races in the championship include Franz. Trey's got a couple under his belt. Not Nats doesn't have one yet. Lenny, I believe, has one. Divan doesn't. He's had a couple podiums. So it's not Nats. But Carnboy will be the pace setter in this session. And this lap looked good on board with the Alpine. Through a fast left-hander, and then there's a right-hander to complete this little section. And over the Anderson Bridge, awfully close to the wall there for Carnboy. That cost him a little bit of time. Now this left-hander just over the Anderson Bridge is very tricky to get perfect. And he's done okay there as Carnboy. There's a little bit of time. Could have maybe gone a little bit tighter to the inside. But that right-hander is also awful. Now is the reprofiled part of the track, which we haven't seen so far in this league. But we get to see it for the first time today. This should improve overtaking possibilities into this chicane. And should also speed up the process through that chicane. As through the left-hander we go now. To finish the lap for Carnboy. Keeps it very close to the white line. It's 130.8. I imagine a lot of people will go faster than that. Venom Terror goes slower, but not much slower. Next will be... I thought a car went round there, and that would have been not Nat. So next will be Blade Bryan, who comes into the pits, which means it will be a Williams. No, it will be Fori next. 28.8 is the time he's 2 seconds clear of the field. Fori from Carnboy. Only 3 people have set a lap so far. But what about Osman Sedat through the final corner? He looks like he'll go 4th here. Someone boxed just behind him. Gatshui Levy goes up to 2nd place in the Alfa Romeo. And now we'll look at the Haas. That'll be 5 take to the line. He goes up to 5th. He goes ahead of Osman Sedat. Next will be the Williams of NZ Elite through the final corner. Where can he put his car? He only goes 6th. So there's a bit of a spread right now. Next will be Not Nats. He goes to the line. He goes to 6th. Now what about the McLaren? The first of the McLarens who have great pace around here. Lenny goes up to 2nd. And he is the closest challenger to Fori thus far. We haven't seen a lap time from Franz or Scott Boros. Scott Boros still going slow. He's really struggling out, but he has got a new front wing. And we haven't seen Divan yet. Obviously we won't see laps from Spikes or Trey, because they have qualifying bans. But Scott Boros, who went out again on the intermediates. So that's a very interesting move. I don't understand the point. Maybe just trying to get his equipment, want to save his tyres. Thinking he can go faster than a couple of these on keep a set, maybe. There's a lot of debris in that middle sector where Scott Ross just went through. As Fori comes into the pits, slowly but surely. He is currently P1. I imagine we will see lap times come down really quickly in the session unless there's a little bit of weather to worry about. But if there's weather to worry about, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't see Franz and Scott Boros out so late, especially with Franz, our championship leader. He's in the number 7 McLaren. He changed allegiance from last season. Where can he put his McLaren? He's about to start a lap. And now this should be a very interesting lap to watch. So we're going to take off the HUD and just watch his car. First chicane, looking pretty decent. Turn 1, 2 and 3. Now into turn 4. Just been reprofiled. It's a very nice corner now. Which opens up the first of the straights here in Singapore. The King. Some overtakes will be made into this left-hander if you can get it perfect. Franz hooked up like he usually is on the game, and it's seeming like no one will be able to touch him right now. Big T, you can probably get in pretty soon, I'd imagine. Who's in the pits right now? And Lenny's in the pit, Forey's in the pit, so if someone can give you an invite, that'd be brilliant. Brand through the left-hander. Looks like Frames has gone to something weird. It seems to restrict himself. Brand's invalidated his lap time. That is a big one for this session. So crucially. So Big T, are you on... I'm trying to think what platform you're on. Oh, you're on PC. I can't invite you, Big T. I don't have you as a friend. Otherwise I would. So, drives her out on track right now. Calmboy is up by 0.05 of a second. Going through the middle sector. Is it going to be a big enough improvement to maybe move him into the 29s? And no, he's down now. So that's Calmboy's lap done. And Franz is going for a second go at this. Crucially, he's got no fuel or ERS. Maybe he's just trying to get round. He has gone purple in the first sector. Maybe he just wants to get a lap time on the board. And then worry about it later. Rastaman Jakes, what a lap from you. 29.9. That's still 1.1 seconds off of P1, which is the lap of Forey. But Rastaman Jakes getting his Red Bull up there. Red Bull haven't been very competitive recently in this league. Big T gets into the session finally. Thank you to whoever invited him. We currently have 10 people watching this stream. So, let's go hit that very slow part of qualifying where not much happens, but we have to keep talking anyway, which is probably the hardest thing to do. But luckily my heating has just come on, so that is very good news. So, it's very cold in UK right now. So, anyway, everyone's either on an outlap or in the pit lane. Friends not having a lap. Scott Boros, in all of that, he is out, and I've missed that. That is huge. And Fran said in the commentators' lounge, that's kind of a pre-race information thing. Scott Boros is on humid and azure plates. If you remember those from this league, they were bloody rapid. But he's currently without a lap. He joins Spikes and Trey, who will not get a lap in this session. Spikes and Trey is because of qualifying bans. But Scott Boros will start at best P12, and we'll imagine Franz will get a lap in eventually. Lady Brian is starting a lap, but also starting a lap. We have Franz's teammate Lenny, who's up by nearly 700ths through the first sector, which is a chicane and a right-hander. So all the time to try for Lenny to find will be in the middle part of the lap, where we've got the majority of the corners. Lenny, how well is he going to take this section? It's the most awkward section on the racetrack here. Does he go better than Calmboy through there? I believe he has. Bit shaky on the throttle to try and get the power down. But where can Lenny go and put his car? Venom Terror is back in the session. He's currently running in P6. That's good for him. Lenny in Sector 3 now. He is up on his lap time. On the run down to the final chicane. He looked okay through there. Will he be able to break into the 129s and join Rastaman Jakes there? To the line for Lenny, he only goes third fastest. So, now it's time to see what Forey can do. Is he cross the line? No, I'll be Calmboy who's crossed the line to start a lap. Next will be a Mercedes. Blade Brian up to 5th place. Good lap from the Mercedes. He gets into the top 5. Now what about Rastaman Jakes to start a lap? Then it will be Forey to finish a lap, and he's up by 2.5 tenths, and he improves his lap time by 1.8 tenths of a second. Forey currently seeming to be untouchable. It's 1.2 seconds to go to the field. 5 taken the hards, goes up to 3rd. These will not be the final runs of qualifying. We've still got a lot to go here. Osman Sidat, where can he put his Mercedes? Does he get an improvement? He does. He only improves his lap time though, so he stay 11th fastest. Next, crucially, will be Franz to come and start a lap. He needs to be careful because he needs a lap here. Whether it's good or not, he wants to get ahead of Scott Boras, who's out of this session. Williams of NZ Elite to start a lap. Next will be a Ferrari. That will be Big T round the final corner. He couldn't join this session late. He goes up to 4th. Good lap from the Ferrari. His teammate will start 16th. Next will be Lenny. I'd imagine he'll be coming into the pit season validated at the least. Carnboy, he is on a lap. Will he be able to find any more time through this final chicane? On the run down to the final couple of corners, which is double left, which is sometimes flat, but for me it's a lift. Carnboy to line, he goes 8 tenths clear, and he makes it a 1-2 for Alpine. Osman Sidat has invalidated. Blade Brian, will he get another bite at the cherry? No, he won't. Five-man start a lap. Rastaman Jakes, I'd imagine, will come into the pits. Yes, he does. Behind him, Fori is also down. So, next will be 5-Take, who's also down. So, we are going to be waiting on the lap of Osman Sidat, who's down on his lap time. And then, Franz, who, as long as he gets a lap together, he'll be happy right now. This needs to be valid for the sake of McLaren and Franz. One of the McLarens is currently P6, one is currently P15. This is a must lap. This lap is a must. And he goes top of the pile. 28.5, 2 tenths clear of Fori. And he needed that lap, Franz, to stop, to get himself a bit out of danger. Fori toppled by Franz, who's only got 1 lap in so far. Fori's had a couple, but he's still just behind. Getui Leby up into 4th. Good lap. NZ Elite up into 5th. Oh, pitch turn 1, lost my wing. I think that's where I DC. Just looking in the chat. Amy Stokes rooting for Brian. Brian, clearly a popular one in this. So, the standout right now is Getui Leby. So Franz currently changing the guard at the top of the pile here in Singapore. As we're trying to see a lap from Daivan, who's just started a lap. Daivan, he has pace on his day. But kind of lacks the consistency. So, he needs a good result here, Daivan, and it looks like he'll probably box at the end of this lap. Or he's just conserving to try and get a run at the end. Yellow flags in the middle in the final sector. That is a Williams. That might be NZ Elite, who is going quite slowly, actually. He's invalidated his lap time. Is there anything wrong there with the Williams? So Franz in the pits. Will we see him again? I don't think we will. So, over to Fori. Yeah, no, we definitely want to see Franz again. Over to Fori and Carnboy to see if they can get ahead of the McLaren. Scott Boras down in a disappointing for 15th place. Daivan will be first to go across the line. No, it won't. Yes, it will. Sorry, my bad. Daivan will be first across the line. It's going to be a lap time on the board at least, but he'll start a lap here. 46.8, not the greatest, obviously, all things considered. We're going to start to see a lot of people start their laps. But the first one to finish one will be Lenny in the sister McLaren to Franz, and he will be looking to get himself up into the top 5 minimum. Here we go then. Where can Lenny go and put his McLaren through the right and then the left? And now down to the very fast double left-hander to finish out the lap. Lenny, this has looked okay from him. Can he improve his lap time? He does. Only 7th. We would have wanted better there. Next will be Blade Bryan in the Mercedes. And we got a slow Williams. That is Divan. Maybe it's just like a joke yellow flag, but you'll get another chance to find something in this. Osman see that will only have 13th place. France currently pole, between Levy in 4th and NZ Elite in 5th. They have all finished their laps. Blade Bryan, 6 tenths up. He goes up to 6th. Brilliant lap from the Mercedes. Now what about the next Williams? That will be Divan. Is he up on his time? 4 is done. And he's retired on track. But Divan is up by 4 seconds. But he's going to come into the pits. Why didn't you improve that lap, Divan? You would have at least had a better time than on 1:46.8. Now next will be the Haas of 5 take. You had a great start to qualifying here in Singapore. Up to the line for 5 take. He goes ahead of Lenny. He goes 8th place. Rastaman Jakes will only have 7th. Big T now through the final corner. No, it'll be not Nancy who goes up to 11th. Big T, can he improve on 10th? Yes, he can. He goes up to 7th. Next will be Venom Terror through the final corner. He'll be one of the only people left to improve his lap time. Then it'll be Lenny, but Venom Terror to the line. Goes ahead of his teammate. And then what about Lenny? He is nowhere near, which means Franz will take pole for the Singapore Grand Prix. Had a 4. He just seemed to make a mistake on that last lap, maybe. Had a Carnboy. 2-3 for Alpine. They will be very happy with that. Katui Levy, good lap from him. He's in 4th, ahead of NZ Elite. Then Blade Bryan, Big T, Rastaman Jakes, then 5 take, and then Lenny in the top 10. Lenny will hope for better. We know he's got pace when he wants to have pace, but today it's just not going for him. Although it's very close from 7th to 10th. Not even the 10th separating them. And even the 29.8s, like Gatui Levy, all the way down to Lenny, is just over 2 tenths. So that is going to be a very close midfield battle today. And also definitely between Big T and Rastaman Jakes. 1,000th separates them. We are looking at a very entertaining race here. Especially in the midfield battle. But Franz will take pole ahead of both Alpine cars. Franz's second pole is a formality at this point. But towards the back, Scott Boros in 15th. Big shock there. We expected him to be towards the front fighting for pole. He just didn't seem to get it right today. Spikes and Trey had quality band, so that's 2 AlphaTauris in the bottom 3. Apart from that, that was a very entertaining qualifying session. Kind of all kicked off in the midfield, but nothing happened out front, apart from Franz finally getting it together. It wasn't the best qualifying for him in terms of just formalities. He made a mistake on his first run. He got it done in the second. So it is dry here in Singapore. Hopefully we get an interesting race. 31 laps of the Singapore circuit here in Marina Bay. If it was in Marina Bay, it would be even better, but I'm sat in a very cold United Kingdom. If you're in the chat, if you want to make any predictions for this race, I think you'd be stupid not to bet against Franz right now. But any predictions will be good. I reckon we'll see a little bit of carnage to throw the race into a little bit of oblivion. I still think it'll be Franz who ends up winning. Maybe Scott Boros has a great comeback drive. Who knows? It's a perfect time to look at the race director. Mix, lot going hards, couple going mediums at the moment. Medium runners are Franz and Gatui Levy. And Trey has gone softs right now, so who knows? Obviously this race will be shorter than we usually see it because of the improved track layout. It will be 13 seconds slower per lap. So that will make a little bit of a difference. Brian no lower than 5th, depends if there's a crash. There's Amy Stokes. Normally first turn or mid-track chaos. The middle sector is the big one. The tight and twisty section where I reckon we'll see a lot of front wings be lost. Always chaos, lol. It is always chaos. Especially in this league. Although we do have lots of clean racing. I'm going to have a double check on the race director. No, nothing changing. Restaman Jake's deciding to go. No, that'll be 5 takes. Sorry. Is it 5 take? Or I think it's 5 take, yeah. Brian gonna do something crazy and go home with first. There's Mandy. A lot of Brian fans out here today. And rev up to 5 red lights here for the Singapore Grand Prix, and they go racing here in Singapore. It's a good start from Fori. Can he get ahead of Franz into turn 1? They have to make do. Franz leads ahead of Fori and Carnboy. Big T getting ahead of Blade Brian. Back in 5th. There seems to be a mistake somewhere along the line. Trey and Spikes going at it, the 2 qualifying band merchants. Big T getting ahead of Blade Brian through the right-hander. Gatui Levy doing well to hold on, but he's going to try and get in the slipstream of Carnboy in the Alpine. Here we go then. Where can Gatui Levy go and place his car to try and get ahead? Blade Brian and Big T battling out again. Brian back through into 5th. Big T in 6th, then Rastaman Jakes can't do anything. He's currently in 7th. 5 take trying to go to the inside of the Williams of NZ Elite. Or is it NZ Elite going to the outside of the Haas? Either way, NZ Elite is up into 8th place. Big wobble there from both Rastaman Jakes and NZ Elite. Seems like we watched it happen, and we watched it happen again on board with the Williams as NZ Elite. What a move that was up ahead of the Red Bull. NZ Elite getting a move on in the early stages of this lap. Brilliant start to the race for the Williams driver. The other Williams driver down in 14th. Scott Boros making up a few places. Osman Seedat getting ahead of Divan. As 5 take gets ahead of Rastaman Jake. So the midfield battle already seeming to gear up. But out front, Fori and Francis. Fori going to try and make it down the inside into the chicane. It's so close to contact, and Franz keeps the lead. And Carnboy would want to get involved in this, try and get back ahead of his teammate. But after lap 1, it's Franz and Fori, and Carnboy, then Gatui Levy, then Blade Brian, then Big T, then NZ Elite, then 5 take, Venom Terror, Lenny, and there's a big crash there. Lenny almost into the wall. He loses his front wing. Rastaman Jakes is into the pits. As Divan gets ahead and loses that to Lenny. But Lenny into the wall. He'll have to box for a new front wing. So not as much chaos as we thought we'd get. Trey and Spikes also into the pit. A bit of a terrible start for the 2 with quali bands. Scott Boros up into 9th already from 15th on the grid. He'll be wanting to make even more progress from there. He gets ahead of Venom Terror. But he'll be stuck in this midfield fight soon. Big T and NZ Elite. NZ Elite has had a brilliant start to this race. He's gone on the hards as well. He's going to try and fight against Big T, who's also on the hards. So this is the race strategy powered by AWS. One stop of hard to medium is the favoured strategy. So, and NZ Elite, he's going to think about the move to the inside just after the Anderson Bridge. And he's going to try and get into the slipstream of the Ferrari. 5take is here to pick up any scraps this fight has. NZ Elite thinks about a move to the inside. Big T just holding it out for a minute, but he gets they get a similar exit actually. I was going to say one gets the better exit, I don't know why I would. NZ Elite just staying there with the Ferrari, nearly contact between the Ferrari and the Williams. As Fori and Franz out front, this is turning into a brilliant battle. Down the inside is Fori, he's going to think about it. Franz holds on just again, but now, crucially, DRS is enabled. Calmboy doing very well to stay with this battle. And Kutui Lebi, fair play to you, you are still within arm's length. So, Calmboy. Oh, but out front, Fori gets ahead of Franz. That's a crucial move for what's going to happen in this race. Fori and Franz, they've been battling in this league ever since season 1. Now Fori's back ahead of Franz after periods of Franz dominance. But now, crucially, Calmboy is in this battle. Calmboy could see himself in the lead soon if he plays his cards right. As Revolution says, Calmboy doing well this season, even though I know the crossplay screws him over. Sure, Calmboy getting all squirrely on the exit there. That will invite Kutui Lebi maybe into the DRS range. No, he actually lost time there, Kutui Lebi. 5take in 6th. He's ahead of NZ Elite. Big T also going to try and fight this. NZ Elite having a great start to this one. Scott Boros is also in this fight. AlphaTauri, Williams and Ferrari. Losing the plot. A bit rusty in the cockpit. Two Astons seem to be mirroring each other's lap times right now. But as you see, from 13th downwards, it is all very much the same. They've all had to box because of damage. And that ruins their race, but Scott Boros gets a great exit off of the final corner. He's going to try and make a move towards Big T. Big T just kind of lets him through here and try and opens up the corner. And try and get an exit off of turn 3 to maybe launch an attack on Scott Boros and the Williams here. Thinking about a move there was Scott Boros on NZ Elite. Big T is also here, but now the DRS zone is going to be important. NZ Elite is going to have to try its damn hardest to hold on here. Scott Boros is up into 7th place. Good racing from these. NZ Elite almost moving over as Big T has to react to stop a car crash, stop an airplane crash. Crazy. Big T and NZ Elite, how they not crashed there, I will never know. Franz in danger of falling out of DRS. I have just seen, actually, I did take this into consideration. The tyres. Fori is on the mediums ahead of Franz on the hard, so that is why Fori has got ahead of him early on in this race. He had to, for his strategic sake. I think either way, both the tyres could go to half distance in this race. So it all depends when the safety car comes out. Franz could hope. Fori, fastest lap of the race, and we kind of expected that. But Scott Boros, I reckon, could take it on this lap. Because of the clean air. Scott Boros doesn't take it. Right, the fight for the final points paying positions. Osman Sidak getting ahead of Venom Terror. That's because Venom Terror is into the pit. He must have picked up damage somewhere because you didn't box that early on the set of hards. And as you saw, the Aston Martin garage getting the front wing ready. Here we are on lap 5 of the Singapore Grand Prix here in Tier 1 of F1 League South Africa. Franz has made some of that lap time back. Did Fori make a mistake in the first sector? If he has, Franz is right back with him, and Fori is at risk of losing the lead. Fori is a bit all over the place right now. He just needs to get it sorted, just to keep ahead of Franz. But Franz, now he's in the DRS, can just try and get back with him. Come on, boys, dropped back by 3 seconds, having a little bit of a nightmare through that right-hander. It's all kind of fizzled out. Not that on the back of NZ Elite, who went too fast, it seemed, on his hard tyres. And Not Nats is going to try and get a move up into 9th place. Not Nats, who's had some special drives in this league. And that could throw the race into oblivion. Divan has put it in the wall on the exit of the right-hander. And I believe turn 7. Now, we will box the medium runner. Everyone's boxing. 5 Tape, Scott Boros, Big T, NZ Elite, Not Nats, all boxing. And they are going for the medium tyre. But the Delta will save Fori and Franz. So he'll still be able to box. But this just, for Franz, this just ruins his race a little bit compared to Fori. Franz will box with him, but Fori, using the softer tyre early on, not an ideal situation if you're in the camp of Franz. Carnboy running in 3rd. He might be far enough back to not have to worry about the stack and lose out to the likes of Gatui Leby or even Blade Bryan. But Divan is out of the race. That's the first retirement. This gives an opportunity for Spikes and Velterra and Trey to catch back up to the pack after losing their front wings early on. Osman Sedat deciding to stay out. Blade Bryan was in the front pack, so he'll box this lap. Fori in, Franz in, Carnboy also in, Gatui Leby is going to inherit the lead of the race. Interesting strategy call there from the Alfa Romeo driver. Carnboy in 4th, Blade Bryan in 5th. Osman Sedat is also going to stay out. Will he be able to gain a few places here? No, he won't. He's already up to 6th. But will he be able to get ahead of his teammate? Because his teammate won't want that. He does. Trey with a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. So then, this order has changed slightly. Gatui Leby starting to stay out. He has gone different. It could work out for him. We've still got such a long way to go in this race. 24 laps. We're only on lap 7. As we're waiting for the safety car to catch up. Well, for people to catch up, the safety car. Gatui Leby decided to come in now, which is an interesting move. He's just going to drop right to the back. That's a really poor call from the Alfa Romeo. At least if you stayed out, you had a chance of going for a weird strategy and it working. Maybe you just abandoned the idea and realised everyone else was boxed. You might as well box as well, but he's thrown himself way out of contention now. And he's towards the back. That will promote Blade Brian up into a net 4th. Osman Sedat is currently 4th, so Brian will want to get ahead of him quickly. I agree. She said, Ollie, it was not a good call. Too late. We could have been looking at a weird strategy called only one stop. Everyone else would have had the box again anyway. But he was looking at a call to maybe only box the same amount of times, but have the track position. This is one of those tracks where it could work. So, anyway, let's look at the tyre situation under this after the safety car, and it's a real mix. Forey's gone up to the hards, Fran's gone to the mediums, Calmboy also onto the mediums. So I'd imagine Franz will get his lead back very quickly. Osman Sedat in 4th. He has stayed out. He's on the hards. Blake Bryan on the mediums. Brian, if he plays his cards right, could get himself up to the podium places. Ollie would have stayed out. I probably would have stayed out, but I haven't done league racing for a long while, so I wouldn't know. I probably would have followed the crowd, actually. 5 take on the hards, then Scott Boros on the mediums. He's found himself back in this race, Scott Boros, after a poor qualifying. Not Nats on the mediums in 8th, then Big T in 9th on the mediums. Rastaman Jakes stayed out. He's on the mediums. Then you got Enzi on the mediums. Tui Leby, who saw just boxed on the hards. Then Spikes, who didn't box, he's on the mediums. Then you got Lenny and Trey on the mediums. And a Venom Terry's now into the pits. Watch 5 follow Brian to the podium with his hards. He will have an advantage. Maybe. Forey and 5 are gonna do this. It's an interesting situation. And the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. Forey leads on the hards ahead of Franz on the mediums and Calmboy on the mediums and Osman Sedat on the hards. He will be involved in this, whether he wants to be or not. This is obviously not the battle he is fighting. He will have to box again anyway. But most of these drivers have turned into a 2-stop race. And Forey has decided to call it ahead of Franz. Now, has he done it perfectly? It looks like he's done it well. He's had a bit of a wobble through there. Franz is going to have a little bit more traction to try and make the ground into turn 1. He's not going to make the move just yet. Calmboy. So that's the third. Blade Brian getting straight past Osman Sedat. That seems like a great move. And now Osman Sedat is going to hold up 5 take for him. That is perfect for the race of Brian. 5 take has gone. And he's Big T is also caught up in this, so that's unlucky. The 5 take is good, and it's right there. We got a safety car yet again. Now, Big T got unlucky there. 5 take just got hit. Maybe he just got a little bit too greedy, trying to get ahead of Osman. But 5 take is out of this race. Now, will it be? Now, this is very interesting for how the race will unfold. 21 laps to go. Will we see anyone box under this safety car? We might see a couple of the medium runners convert back to the hards, try and go to the end. I think Fori and Osman, I think Fori and Gatui Levy have played this perfectly. Yes, Gatui Levy's lost a lot of places, but they will be able to go the distance on their tyres. Brian up into 4th, and he is the favourite in the chat right now. We could see Brian on the podium today, and I'm all for it. I'm going to see anyone convert their tyres. Fori looks like he's going to tease. Did he cross the right white line though? That is the question. Cross back over the white line. You're not allowed to do that. So, not that I'm saying Fori's in trouble, just whether he did or not. Because don't do it. Because it's a bit of it's not a move I would personally go with. We've got a couple of people coming into the pits, and Scott Boros is one of them. Big T came in anyway. Scott Boros is going to change to the hard compounded tyre. But no, he's gone on to another set of mediums. Interesting strategies there from Scott Boros and Big T. Brian's been doing well in practices. Definitely see him on the podium. He's now in a prime position to try and get ahead of Calmboy. Well, I'm not going to say he's the weaker of the 3 on the podium at the moment, but he's definitely the one you can probably bank on overtaking the most. Currently in Alpine 1-3, then you got Franz in 2nd for McLaren. And it's currently a 4-5 for Mercedes. Osman Sidas put himself in a great position, by the way, because he'll box again. Everyone else will box again. And Osman Sidas just inherited 5th. medium put on lap 20. That's definitely an option. So, this race has suddenly become very interesting, because I don't know which way it will go. The top 3 have stayed the same, pretty much. Scott Boros apologising in chat about an incident with 5 take. I reckon there was definitely contact there. And he's been in the wars again, has Scott Boros. Bit of a shocker weekend for the AlphaTauri driver. So then, safety car, providing Scott Boros will catch up by the end of this lap, will be in at the end of this lap. So a lot of things can happen between now and the end of the race, but at the moment, Fori in the driving seat to maybe win this race because he can at least convert to the one stop. And the safety car is in at the end of this lap. So, will Fori get it right again? In the very bright blue Alpine. Obviously driven in real life by Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon. We already have a very similar season in 2024 to what they had in 2023. Kind of there, they're just there. And Fori has decided to go early, and Franz has predicted it yet again. And he's staying with him, but it looks like Franz is just more confident through that final corner. And it's showing. He's getting a better exit every single time. Kasui Levy losing a couple of places. So is Trey. Is there any incidents at the back? We've got a couple of people into the pits. Kasui Levy and Trey must have picked some damage up under that safety car restart. So Franz getting very close to the back of Fori. But behind sector 1, there's an incident and there's a spin for big Spikes and Rastaman Jakes, who are falling down the order. And that is not ideal for either of their races. That's Not Nats gets ahead of Osman Sidat. Not Nats has found himself in a great position after starting 11th in this race. And Blade Bryan is staying with the front three. Can he go on to make anything of this? So, out front, it's like the top 4 have gone away. And it's squeezed in. 4.2 seconds the gap already between Blade Bryan and Not Nats. Blade Bryan, can he stay with the front 4? That's the challenge for the Mercedes driver. Calm Boy is just sitting back here, and he's going to have to try and make sure Blade Bryan doesn't come and take away the possibility of a good podium for Calm Boy. Blade Bryan, I don't know if he's been on the podium this season. I will now have a look. If he hasn't, then this will be even more special. Blade Bryan has not been on the podium this year. So, this could be interesting. Calm Boy's only had 1. Franz, obviously, has been on the podium every single race. Near enough. Fori has been on the podium 7 times. Big T and Osman Sidat. Osman Sidat is now falling down the order. Scott Boris has got ahead of him as well now. That Mercedes looking a handful on those old hard tyres, and I thought I saw a crash somewhere. That's just the nature of the corner. Crucially, 5 Take has had a podium. I'll be back shortly.